What's going on, guys? It's Alex here. Welcome back to another review of Chainsaw Man. And yeah, this is one way to end the year for the chapter, but starting from the very beginning, it picks up with Fumiko being held hostage not only by the Whip Hybrid, but also the Spear Hybrid and Sugo. And of course, Fumiko is confused by why they're even there, considering that Kwangshi had neutralized all three of them. But the Whip Hybrid does confirm that since Japan is in a pseudo state of chaos, still dealing with the aftermath of people turning into Chainsaw Man and going on a rampage, well, public safety has their hands full right now, and it's kind of wrong that public safety had a full-on plan to take out the hybrids, but didn't think of a way to keep them locked up if everything went south. This of course angers Denji, who we can see is on the verge of a mental breakdown from having his home burned down along with his pets, but Suko explains the rationale behind it from his perspective, with him basically taking it wasn't personal, it's just business rationale to condone what he did, or at least what he's a part of. We burned your house down, but we didn't prevent the end of the world. The reason why we terrorized the world is to save the world. Deep down, while Suko is saying this and the actions, as bad as they are, I mean, it makes sense in the scheme of the powering up Denji and Yoro to face off against the Death Devil. I mean, the power system in Chainsaw Man does require people to be afraid of devils for them to become stronger, so you have to crack a few eggs and make an omelet. We do know that deep down, even Murray realizes that he's being manipulated in what he's doing. While he thinks it's necessary now, something tells me later on he'll come to regret it later. Because I don't think the Family Devil's true plan really is to save the world in the way that they're describing it. At least, it's not entirely true, because the Whip Hybrid makes an interesting comment when Murray is saying this. He seriously believes that crap, referring to the Nostradamus prophecy that says that the world will end in July of 1999. Which even Denji himself doesn't fully believe, despite Nayuta actually confirming it. And this, I feel like, has a double meaning. The first being that the Whip Hybrid is the only one who realizes the Family Devil's intentions to defeat the Death Devil, using Chainsaw Man and the War Devil, saving the world. Well, that is her goal. That is not the entire truth of the goal. It's like Makima's plan of world peace. Sure, world peace sounds good out loud, but when you look at the plan and you realize how bad it actually was, considering that there wouldn't be any freedom in her world that she would create, it really wasn't all that great. And the Whip Hybrid, as dumb as she initially comes off, has enough life experience meeting different people, living through different eras to know when someone is telling a lie or at least a half-truth. Because assuming Kwangshi isn't the oldest devil hunter in the world, the Whip Hybrid is the oldest human characters that we know of, being 80 years old. I mean, living that long, you accrue some level of wisdom to tell when someone is telling the truth or not. Then we see Barum getting up from being shot in the face numerous times, showing us that despite not having blood, the hybrids have incredible healing factors, which explains how the Whip Hybrid and the others appear with Barum despite being chopped up into pieces. And then Yuta, having enough of everything, shoots a chain at Barum and commands him to delete himself. But unlike the previous time with the Justice Devil and Yoro, Barum actually resists Nayuta's attempt to control him and proceeds to strangle Nayuta, while Denji is forced to stand there and watch. And we get a big lore drop of how the Control Devil's powers work, but also the reason why Barum hates Denji so much. And the reason is because Barum is a simp for Makima, and if it sounds like I'm making this up, Barum theorizes that the reason why Nayuta can't control him is because of his intense love that he has for Makima. And not only for Makima, but her dream of making a better world. Which we do know is actually true, because true love, out of all the emotions, is actually able to break the Control Devil's control over his subjects, like we saw with Power and the Angel Devil. It just wasn't actually stated in part 1, but now we have more of a direct confirmation. In any case, Barum theorizes that had Denji not killed Makima at the end of part 1, Makima herself could have used the Chainsaw Man's power to defeat the Death Devil and to make the better world that she sought to create. And Barum saying this really makes you question if the Death Devil is really the threat we are all thinking she's made out to be by the Famine Devil. Because keep in mind, Chainsaw Man before the start of this series was able to fight against all of the 4 horsemen and their goons with the help of his followers in Hell. But let's be real, I mean, Chainsaw Man was big carrying like how I'd be carrying in a Call of Duty lobby. Now, although it was never stated that Chainsaw Man won, in fact the fight ended with him disappearing before it could reach its conclusion. Considering that he ate the World War II Devil, the AIDS Devil, and even a part of Yoro likely in this fight, well, I mean, it's clear to say that, well, he pretty much came up on top with this fight. And Barum is not a reliable narrator, because unlike Denji, who isn't a simp for Makima, Biram doesn't realize that Makima's goal for a peaceful world was not only a lie in the end. I mean, she only cared for Chainsaw Man and herself. It was for selfish reasons. Why she wanted to make her peaceful world, and while the plan is honestly a lot more sane than whatever the famine devil is cooking up, because I mean, let's be real, it probably has killed a lot more people than Makima ever did. I thought that Makima planned on saving the world in her own way to prevent the end of the world like the famine devil is doing now, but I suppose when the death devil finally arrives, we'll really see if the world is better off, or would have been better off, had Makima become its all-powerful god. Biram also said that he's jealous that Denji was able to live a peaceful life, clearly showing us that similar to Denji and most of the hybrids in the series, he likely came from a rough background, likely from poverty, and maybe suffered from emotional and physical abuse. And that's really why he also burned down and cooked his pets, because he's mad that, well, Denji killed his waifu who didn't care about him in the slightest, and he lived a better life than he did. Which is absolutely insane, but yeah, I guess Biram is just an incel. In any case, Nina, having enough of Biram's monologue and his backstory, frees herself by controlling a public safety agent and having him shoot Biram in the head, knocking him out. And Naoto screams for Denji to act, and in this moment, we clearly see that Denji has finally made his decision to live his dreams of being Chainsaw Man, after clearly having enough of everything. I mean, people mess with him and telling him what to do. But before he does, we see that Denji reverts back to a kid and raves at Pochita, who raves back at him. And this scene can be interpreted in a lot of ways. Some people are saying that Pochita's raving on like a happy parent watching their child make up their mind for themselves, while other people are interpreted as Pochita passing on the torch of being the real Chainsaw Man. Because we know in Denji's form of being Chainsaw Man, he didn't have all the abilities that Pochita had. The most important, erasing concepts out of existence. And it was always hinted at in the early parts of part 2 by Yoshida, all the way back when he took Asa on a date to the aquarium, that Denji had the potential or would eventually get this ability. But now that Denji has ruined his contract with Pochita by telling him that his dream was to be Chainsaw Man, which seems like that this is going to be the case come next chapter. He might even have new abilities that we haven't seen since the end of the first part of the series. Another thing to point out is the old man is also watching all the events that's going on, and it's clear that this moment may be the one where the general public will know about Chainsaw Man's true identity, or at least that he's just a broke teenager who's just trying to get laid. Denji pulls on the record in a badass way, tearing his shirt off and showing off his gains. We see that Denji is smiling about this, but I'm sure Denji is relieved that he's finally able to live out the life that he always wanted in the way that he wanted it to. It's clear that he's having a mental breakdown, similar to the one that we saw when he was fighting the Eternity Devil and the Bat Devil in Season 1 of the anime. As even Denji's behavior and the way that he's acting is freaking Naoto out, considering that despite watching Denji fight multiple devils on multiple occasions for entertainment, it's obvious that Naoto never actually considered how the pain and the trauma of those events affected Denji mentally. I mean, the final page where it's a double spread of Denji ready to fight against the hybrids as the cross burns in the background, and that's how the chapter ends. Let me know what you guys think of this chapter in the comment section down below. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.